So I wanted to do a little bit of a follow-up video to my video yesterday on gang stalking. I'm trying very hard not to turn this into a gang stalking channel because I think it's a baloney thing. I think it's nonsense. Too many people, what I've noticed is too many people want to believe in this matrix world where agents of the Matrix and bots are going around and they're working to agitate people. They're not bots, they're people. Okay? This is the thing that people need to understand. If you've ever interacted with a bot on Twitter, like a Twitter bot or something like that, they don't react back. The reason I know that a lot of the people that have been harassing me are not bots and are agents, and I don't like using the word agent because it makes people think like CIA agent or something like that. These people are not involved with the government, or at least not the United States government, and I'll explain how I know that in a little bit too. But essentially, what you got is you got people that are reactive. An artificial intelligence is not going to be reactive. They're not going to react to the things you're saying. I've gotten these people to freak the hell out when I was arguing about my friend from Argentina. I've gotten them to have outright temper tantrums, okay? Frantic temper tantrums, which made me think that it actually was people that, like maybe a student of my friend that was obsessed with her, or a classmate of my friend that was obsessed with her, or something like that, or an ex-boyfriend or a family member, because that would make sense, people getting frantically angry. And what it was is they were actually getting frantically angry that I won't give up. Now, I have given up on my friend, but that's because I think that she wants me to give up. That's her choice. Unfortunately, she couldn't tell me that. So, but that's a completely different story. But they could not get me to give up on her. They could not get me to do the old, Job, where Job renounces God. They couldn't get me to go, oh, does it make you happy to smile on the deeds of the wicked while you punish me, or whatever the hell Job said? They could not get me to do that to her. Although they did, but I immediately apologized. And that's the thing. They could not get that from me. They could not get me. They couldn't push me that far because I'm not that stupid. The things that were happening did not mesh with my friend's personality. My friend would never, now she might have been fed up with me or couldn't see me or something, but she would never have people pull this crap on me. It's not in her personality to do that. And that's what they got mad, is they could not get me to think it was her. Okay? Then after they got me to give up on her, it got me to think a lot more clearly about how the stuff related to my employer and to my whistleblowing and things of that nature, and how it would always gear up and I'd get attacked from all sides whenever I would attack my employer. And what I mean by attack is I would tell the truth about the unsafe work environment, the way employees were treated, the way clients were treated, the way employees would talk about clients behind their back, the derogatory things that the place would say about people that came there, the falsification of paperwork, the falsification of insurance claims, and things of that nature. Okay, the more I talked about that on Facebook, the more it would gear up on here. Attack, 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 attack. Now, when they got me to give up on my friend from Argentina, they could no longer use her against me. They couldn't get me to think anything was her family or anything like that because it no longer made any sense. And then when they started saying, like, my favorite was when they claimed that I made up all these fake accounts, because that's what they do. You have to understand, they're transposing. This is not artificial intelligence doing this. They would transpose their their misdoings onto me. You make up a whole bunch of accounts to give fake reviews, is what they would say, because they're making up fake accounts to attack me on social media. Do you understand? Now, some of the things that could be almost considered the behavior of artificial intelligences, but it wasn't, because these are the same people that I got to get very reactive and have temper tantrums, was when they would repeat things that I would say. Now, that would be something an artificial intelligence would do. Like when I would call somebody a sausage gobbler or something, or a turd burglar or something like that, and then they would repeat that back. Okay? You get what I'm saying? So that's something an artificial intelligence might do, but it wasn't artificial intelligence. This is also tactics used by narcissists and what are called flying monkeys. What they do is, because they can't really think well, because they're not very bright people. If they were very bright, they probably wouldn't be doing this crap to begin with. They'd have something more important to be doing. But that's what they do. It's a tactic. It's mirroring. And what they do is they try to get you off center by mirroring what you're saying, by mimicking what you're saying, like children on a playground. I don't know if anybody's ever dealt with that on the playground, where somebody just repeats everything you say until you lose it, until you're like, I can't take it anymore. And that tends to happen sometimes. It doesn't work with me because I don't care, and I don't fall for a lot of these stupid, childish tactics. If you look at a lot of the tactics, these are playground tactics. And this is exactly what I dealt with in the workplace. That's what led me to understand that this is merely an extension of workplace mobbing. Where do things like chief handler come in? Chief handler is a moniker used by people to cover their tracks. Obviously, it's not one person. Obviously, it's a profile that it's a name used to cover up somebody's identity. Okay? When they run out of other identities like Chimichanga Chimmy or Tig Manson or So-and-so's Taco or all these other frickin' fake names like they had with me, and when they run out of fake aliases and they can't think of anything else to do, they go nuclear. And they start trying to make you think it's some kind of government program. Like you'll have people, like I had somebody comment, oh, I see the PSYOP is working, because they're trying to make you think that you're the victim of some government program. You're not the victim of a government program if this is happening to you. Okay? I know this. I know people that have worked in intelligence. Okay? This is not how the government goes about things. And then people go, but MK Ultra and this and that. All this crap. There's so much disinformation about things like MK Ultra, about Lieutenant Colonel Aquino. I'm not even going to rehash this crap, because then people will go, well, you're in on it. No, I'm not. I'm just not completely retarded. And that's the thing, is a lot of people do not understand the workings of how intelligence agencies work, because they don't take the time to understand this. They read conspiracy theory books instead of manuals, declassified manual, operational manuals. That's what you need to be reading if you want to understand how things work. Don't read conspiracy theories. Read the operational manuals of these different agencies. Whether it's the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, the CIA, the FBI, start learning about the declassified ways in which these things operate if you want to understand how intelligence operations operate. Stop, please stop pushing conspiracy theories, because it is confusing the points and making people look insane. Okay? So these people are not bots because they're reactive. Artificial intelligences are not reactive. At least not yet. The other thing is that these people that are reactive are clearly, they have an agenda behind them. They're clearly bringing up personal things in people's lives. Now, some of it is just trolling, as I've pointed out. Some of it, I've had trolls. I've had alt-right trolls that attacked me when I dissented from Donald Trump, okay? I can tell the difference between a troll and a gang stalker. As I said, one of the big things with gang stalking is it leaves online and starts going into your real life. Online trolling is not necessarily gang stalking. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying the stuff that has happened to me bleeds into real life. Physical harassment in reality. Things happening in my apartment that should not be happening in my apartment. Me having a woman show up to my frickin' door and trying to get in with a key, and me reporting it to my office and reporting it to the police. That did not happen online, okay? That happened in real life, okay? It was not the doing of my apartment complex either, because they were as surprised as I was, okay? So you have to understand these things. You have to be able to think reasonably. And by pushing false conspiracy theories about satanic cults and CIA operations against civilians and all this other crazy nonsense is not getting to the point that these what's going on a lot of times, especially when it's against whistleblowers. I do think that there is, like how there's hitmen, there's character assassins. People that attack people's characters. Why would they attack your character and not just kill you? That's a question, right? They can kill you. They have access to your things. Why don't they just kill you? If my former employer was to have me killed, number one, I'm not going down without a fight, and I think they know that, okay? Number two, that's a lot of evidence. It's easier and better to make me look crazy. It's better to discredit me than to kill me. Do you understand? So I think what's going on with things like these, I think there's gang stalking organizations that are for hire. I think that this is not out of the question. There are governments that do things like this. Like, for example, the Israeli government does this to people online. They have a whole group of soldiers that their whole job is to discredit people online. I don't think this is Israel, although it could be with all the stuff I say about the USS Liberty attack, but I don't think it's Israel. But what I do think it is I do think that there are underground organizations, probably over the dark web, of people that are for hire to assassinate somebody's character, to destroy somebody's character, to outright discredit somebody by making them look crazy. That's what I think is going on with gang stalking. Okay? I think that is what's going on. In some instances, like that woman that was blowing the whistle on the pharmaceutical companies, the gang stalking did lead to her death. There are many instances on the news, which I've left in the links in the description, where gang stalking leads to physical assault. Okay? That is true. But I think that's when they exhaust their ability to make you look crazy. Then they start having to resort to physical intimidation and things like that. A person that was a victim of that actually was, I don't know if anybody knows of the Holocaust denier, David Cole. He was a Jewish kid that kind of accidentally disproved the Holocaust. He's moderated his views on the Holocaust. But he was a victim of this from the Jewish Defense League. They would harass him and try and make him look crazy, and then when that failed, they'd just outright kick the shit out of him. Until he renounced his disproving of the Holocaust, disproving of the gas vans. He was a brilliant kid. I mean, now he's not a kid. I used to follow him on Twitter. Unfortunately, he's not on Gab as far as I know. Very personable gentleman. He wrote a book called Republican Party Animal. He faked his own death. This is how bad it got with the JDL beating him up and all this crap. He faked his own death and became a guy called David Stein. Then he was outed as David Cole by his significant other. Then he wrote a book called Republican Party Animal, published by Feral House. I haven't read that book. I got to get a hold of it. I got to read it. The guy's hilarious. You can actually watch. Maybe I'll include it in the description. Some of the Montel Williams episodes he was on and stuff. One of my favorites was when he was explaining. He was explaining to people, you know, it's not good to lie about the Holocaust. Where he goes, you know, we put Japanese people in internment camps. Okay, but it would be very wrong to say that we fed Japanese people to alligators. Okay, that was his. I mean, his way of putting things was just so comical, almost like a stand-up comedian type of thing. And he had this terrible voice like that, just great. But he is an example. Now, he was a victim of the JDL. Now, this is before the days of the internet. That's what you have to remember. This is before the days of the internet. They would harass him and basically intimidate him. And then when they couldn't intimidate him anymore, they just started kicking the shit out of him. And that's all for this video.